Okay. It's going?
It's going.
Alright, so... I don't even know which one.
Look it
over here.
Should we just look there? Like we're talking to somebody over there.
Hello, this is Cute Fuzzy Weasel, and
Hey, I'm Matthew B. Moore.
And we're here to talk about the new Robocop trailer, or remakes in general nowadays, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where do you start?
Well, what'd you think of the trailer?
Okay. I thought, alright. The trailer looks cool. It looks like a cool movie. Just like the new Superman looks like a cool movie. The trailer's got all sorts of amazing looking effects and...
Ed 209 and Terminators.
And the wah,
yes.
Wah, so you know it's got to be a good trailer.
And cutting on the wah.
Of course.
Yes.
And I mean, it's definitely the RoboCop for the 2000 tweens or wherever we're at this point. For the 2000. Okay.
I guess,
yeah, it's definitely the RoboCop for us now.
Yes.
Because the original RoboCop is, come on.
Yeah, I mean that movie's from what?
This is the future.
That movie's from like the 20s, right?
Oh, it wouldn't have mattered. It's still. There's no way this is going to be any good.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the trailer and you go, man, I know this is going to be cool. This looks kind of cool, but I've already seen the movie, and they're showing you the entire movie in the trailer, and the new twist that they have for the new story, or twists.
Twisties.
Yeah, including like basically turning RoboCop into Kit from Knight Rider.
Twist-eye.
Twisted.
Twists.
Twistises.
Twistises.
But
there we go.
The deal is you already know the story. You already know what everybody's seen the movie. I mean, you can get RoboCop on Blu-ray for $5 at Best Buy, and everybody owns it. Everybody's seen it. And to try to take the original story and remake it, I guess that's okay, but try to take it and change it and put your own twist on it and then show the whole new twist on the trailer pretty much negates going to see the movie.
Kinda.
When you see the whole damn thing anyway, and you're like, oh great, well I've seen the other movie 100 times. Now I've seen the trailer. Oh, they show me what they're going to do in the new one, so I really have nothing to blow my mind. I mean...
Well, there are things that can blow your mind, like special effects action sequences.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what the old one was missing.
Exactly. That's what the old one was missing. It was missing special effects action sequences.
And violence.
Well, the old one had rated R violence, and we can't show rated R violence.
We can't make rated R movies anymore.
No.
And is RoboCop still RoboCop without the just gnarly gore?
Well, yeah, except this time he's Darth Vader RoboCop.
Right, or Kit. Or a combination of the two.
Darth Kit.
Darth Kitto-Cop.
Now, why are you calling him, like, Kit?
Have you never seen Knight Rider?
I've seen Knight Rider. Did Knight Rider have a human brain in it?
No. It's just that, when you have Michael Keaton on the trailer going, now it's time. Let's make him sleek. Let's paint him black. They show that, and then they show the hood come down, and it's got the little red laser. So, again, it kind of looks like a Cylon with a little bit of Kit in him, because Kit had that little red beam that went...
I do not mind the black paint job. I don't even really mind the red light. What I mind is the hand. See, in the original movie, he was so badly just...
mangled.
Fucked.
Right.
That there's a scene where they're trying to save him, and there's like a doctor saying, we can save his leg, I can save his leg. And they're like, fuck the leg, cut the leg. Because they had already been given the order, like, we're gonna do the RoboCop thing. And really, if you're gonna put him into a robotic suit, right? You're already gonna cover him with all the robotic stuff. Why leave the arm?
We can save the arm.
But fuck the arm. They don't need the arm.
Apparently, you gotta have that. Well, he's a good shooter.
Well, think about it though. What advantage does an organic arm have? It can break, it can be injured, it can get burned, it can get infected. It can get old and gnarly.
Fine, just take all of the fantasy. I mean, I wanted a little Lives Humanity Saved.
There is a little bit
and they do that in the original one, damn it.
In the original one, they save his face. That's his humanity. They save his face.
And I like his paste that he eats, his robo goo. But I mean, in that one, in the original one, it's graphic.
Yeah.
And it stays on the violent side. It shows you a much more violent universe. And I mean, I'll be honest, the first time I saw it, when as young as I was like, this is pretty heavy. Because it was like when the guy gets the toxic sludge dumped
And
all
he
over
comes
him.
out and he's like,
Yeah, and then they hit him with the car and his head comes off. I mean,
well, he bursts like a
Right.
big pimple balloon.
yeah, and it took me. I mean, when I was that young, it took me a minute to recover. But it's a rated R movie.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm an adult, I laugh at it. But I mean, it had the universe they create is a harsh, gnarly, rigid universe, a violent universe.
Yeah.
Not like we don't know that already, but at the time that movie was made, you're watching this and you're like, damn, it's going to be like that in the future? And, we were shocked then. Now, whoa.
Well, the thing is, they can't make them. Oh, hello, other camera.
Don't look at that.
The thing is, they can't make that movie. They can't make that movie violent. They can't make this movie as violent as that movie because the money's in the PG-13 crowd.
Right.
That all the little kids, they want to go see Robocop because Robocop's a movie for kids.
Well, that's why you now introduce the new Disney angle to it and put
Yeah.
a kid in there. And
Yeah.
now Murphy remembers who his wife is.
Yeah.
And she's there when they're going to, do the whole transfer and, what have you done to me? Trying to make you a man again. And the other one, that was not an issue.
Well,
there were just echoes of his humanity, and that's actually what makes the movie really turn good at that certain point because, the entire time he's a struggling machine, has these memories, it doesn't work, he's showing up at his, former, or I guess his widowed wife's home, knowing he can never be a man again. He has no penis. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes his character, he is the isolated Robocop. He is the isolated hero. So when he makes these decisions to be the good guy, you're like, you root for him. Even when they're trying to kill him and they're shooting him and he's falling through the parking deck and all that shit, like, your heart is with him the entire way.
Yeah.
And whatever humanity he has at the end, they say it. He's here to protect the city. Kong, kong. He's the Robocop. But yet there's a little hint of Murphy in there. And that's awesome.
Well,
Here they're taking a shit on it.
In that movie, what was really cool about what they did to him was that the corporate infrastructure, the corporate, what's the company? The
I can see the logo.
It's Omnicorp, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember, which sucks.
Because they just threw Corp in there because it
was just something. But the thing is, they didn't give a damn. They didn't give a damn about him as a person.
No.
And that's what made
them extra evil.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit. And if you're trying, and what the movie seems to be, why am I looking over there? What I could be looking at any one of these cameras. What the movie.
It's the old mobster from the 30s in you. You just don't want to have anything behind you.
What the movie, the one that they're making now, what I think they're trying to do is they're trying to throw in like an anti-corporate message or like an anti-big horrible business message. But if you want to make an anti-big horrible business message, why are you making them give a damn about Murphy? They shouldn't care about Murphy. Murphy is a convenience. They need a dead guy who has a cop thing, or they need a dead guy. They need a dead guy with a brain that's halfway preserved. And they see Murphy and they're like, well, that guy'll do. He's basically a corpse. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Just say he's dead. He's dead, and we don't want an open casket because he's all, to say he's dead. But in this one, they're like, we're going to tell everybody we're doing this. We're going to let the wife in on it because we care. We care. But if they're evil, they shouldn't care. They shouldn't care about preserving his humanity or giving him the illusion of free choice. Why even give him the illusion of free choice? What good is something that can make decisions on its own that are against your wishes really going to be if all you're looking for is something that you can control? That was, in the original Robocop, they had complete control over him. He was essentially their slave. He was their slave. They tell him to do whatever the fuck they wanted him to do. And this one, why are they preserving him? Why do they care about him?
Well, in the trailer they say, he thinks he's thinking on his own, but he's really not.
Why care? Why even
He's breaking his programming!
Yeah, but why even give him the illusion that he's thinking on his own? Why even preserve that part of his mind?
I don't know. I liked it much better the other way, where it just sort of crept back in.
Yeah, and that actually...
And they're making this the forefront of the movie, which it doesn't... You also lose the opportunity to develop all the bad guys the way they did in the original Robocop. I mean, when he was, gun mangled, I mean, you hated those guys.
Yeah.
And then the head guy of the corporation, that comes in and when the other guy's peeing and they're talking junk on him, and then he grabs him and pins him up against the toilet, and he basically tells the guy where he's at. It's like, I'm in control, you little piece of shit. And I used to make fun of the boss too, And there's this, and even all right, when the guy who gets the sludge dumped on him comes to shoot up the second guy in control, and he walks in there, and the corporate guy you sort of like is doing coke with crazy strippers, and then the bad guy walks in and goes, "Bitches leave," and the whole movie is loaded with classic moments like that from the bad guys. I don't think you're going to ever see in any of this.
No.
I mean, you won't see Michael Keaton doing cocaine.
They can't show cocaine in this.
I'm like, and here's how are you going to make one of the goriest sci-fi movies of when was it?
86?
Anyway, one of the goriest sci-fi movies of the 80s into a PG-13 rated movie in a violent universe when you can't even show blood splatter anymore.
Well,
how are you going to do that?
Well, here's the first thing they did. Instead of him being gun mangled, I like that term, gun mangled. Instead of him being gun mangled, it's a car bomb. For two reasons. One, because car bombs happen, I mean, well, they've happened forever, but their car bombs are like, that's the thing that happens all over.
It's about terrorists.
It has a big terrorism slant, and I'm like, okay, fine.
It might not, but it kind of looks like it.
If they want to modernize it,
or corporate terrorists.
Yes. If they want to modernize it and they want to go with a more terrorist angle, all right, I get it. That's very much a part of modern world culture. Is the
right?
terrorist.
That'll draw you to the theater.
Okay. But that's not really the reason I think they did it. The reason I think they did it is because when you have a car bomb, you can obscure the body with fire. No one ever has to see him lit on fire.
Oh, or gun mangled.
No one has to see all the gore. All they have to do is hear, and maybe,
And then you fade out to white.
Yeah.
And and then you just show like a little crackle with the flames burning over to the side, and you see his eye like, hey.
Yes.
And then there's a little trail of blood.
Because when you're in an explosion, there's a little trail of blood that comes.
And then you get the charcoal on your face and your hair stands up.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it'll look better than that. What irritates me the most about this is everything and it's all the remakes. Right? I mean, going to King Kong, when they made the first one, it's a phenomenal film. Everybody's all into it. I mean, it's one of the classics. And you think, well, in the 30s, it's probably, they were saying it's just like it's the greatest thing you've ever seen on the screen. You will wonder if it's real, and it's a little stop animation monkey, and it's so silly looking to us. But the movie still stands on its own. It's still a great film. It always will be. It's just well put together. The music's in the right place. The cuts are in the right place. It's epic. It feels very, very large. And then to go to remake it, you have to remember that everybody, knows the story. But I think that's like the first remake that ever shocked me. And that was the De Laurentiis one, which is, when you watch it as an adult, it's pretty dumb. But it still kind of holds up. But the Pete Jackson one was ridiculous. You want all the money to be poured in there. You want to see the technology. You want King Kong to look as real as possible. And when they have the opportunity to, they screw it up.
But I think they, in the King Kong, to King Kong's credit, I thought they made a fantastic Kong. I thought they made a fantastic Kong.
And the new one, the Pete Jackson.
Yes. Yeah. Kong was really, he was good. He was emoting. I think they got that character really well.
No, they nailed that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
It was like everybody else.
It was Jack Black running from Baronosauruses like this. And it's just the stupidest looking thing I ever saw. It's them going to the island where the waves are like cutting through all these gnarly rocks, and they're really, really tall waves. And no one would ever go into that type of water. And they're trying to make it part of the story, and it doesn't even need to be there. It's fucking Skull Island, or whatever it is. It's got dinosaurs and shit on it. Do I really need to be worried and have all these like elaborate, scenes where they're going through the water to get to the island? I'm just not. I mean, you got all the technology, and what are you doing? You're adding extra things that aren't necessary.
Or the whole bit with the natives, where they come in and everything gets all slow and weird, and like they're grabbing
a
people.
lot better in the other one.
And it's all like everything gets all choppy, and there's that old woman saying stuff. And
Well, I'm practically asleep at that point in the movie because I'm not buying it. I've only watched it once, and by the end of it, I was like, "Good God, kill the thing!" They end the movie like 7 times. It's just like the end of Lord of the Rings. Like, okay, fall off the building, die, meh, and then are you gonna wrap it up for another 75 minutes? I don't know.
it's like
What do they do with his decaying body? You follow it.
that is a good question.
Send him off to like 75 taxidermists that make it. You just.
They'd probably get a couple of cranes, maybe toss them into the water or something. I don't know.
Okay, the Total Recall is the one that definitely has to be scratched on if we're going to talk about the Robocop.
Yeah.
And it is still in the same vein of what we're talking about, as far as money goes. Now, money's all over the place in the in the original Total Recall.
Yes,
it's all over the
it
place
is.
in the second one. And the Philip K. Dick universe and the stories, I love them, even when they're modified. It's rewritten and done a different way. It still always has that type of feel to it. And I guess it's the 80s movies, they build you up into it, and then they get you to that point, and then they really kick your ass, but they make you wait for the payoff. They don't show you the giant press in the pyramid till the very end, and they leave you with this giant, oh man, I can't wait, because they're going to push the thing and make the action come out. But it's the setup to it. It's just epic. I mean, the music, dun 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 dun, it's epic.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that the original Total Recall didn't have its moments.
Oh, dude, it's got tons of cheese in it, but you don't care.
Yeah.
Because every time you turn around, you're getting delivered to. Arnie's never been able to be a good actor. He sucks. But it's just Arnie. And you're in it. And maybe it's just that phenomena of the Arnieisms. I don't know. Why make Predators when it's basically a remake of Predator and you're never going to be able to replace Arnie? It's done. It's finished.
Wait, did they remake Predator?
No, they remade Predator
they
and called it Predators.
They called it Predators?
No, have you seen Predators? You could almost take Predator and Predators and run them side by side. People fall off of a waterfall in both of them. They get in the mud. The chick is Hispanic. There's a group of like 7 or 8 dudes, all with basically the same weapons that they have in Predator. And you can't replace any of the characters that you had in Predator because they all kick ass. There is not another Arnie. There's not another Bill Duke. And there's not, I'm going to have me some fun. I'm going to have me. There's never going to be another scene like that. And yet they tried to do it again. But that's why you watch the other one. Predator, it's not about the Predator in Predator. It's about all the characters. You love every single one of those guys, do you not? They establish them that way. You can't escape them. What is that? Jesse the Body Ventura, chewing and spitting on, what's his name? Apollo Creed's shoe, it's a real nasty habit. When you guys want any of this, and he goes off on him, and this stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus, and I think he's one of the first 2 guys that gets iced, but you're like, oh man, I liked that asshole character with an MTV shirt on. And even all the support characters, the other soldiers, the ones that aren't so big or whatever, and the guy that keeps, trying to make the Indian dude laugh was like, hey, I went up to my girlfriend the other day and I asked her for a little pussy, and she says, yeah, I wouldn't mind it either because mine's big as a house, and Billy never laughs. And it's just this tiny little running gag that makes you like the characters more. There's not a single lick of that in Predators, except for the crazy cocaine rapist guy who's basically the comic relief, and you don't like him anyway because he's a nasty little shit. And so you liked the military guys because they are good guys. They're military guys. These are all a bunch of convicts or freak shows or rapists or whatever, and murderers, and you're just like, I don't want to identify with these people.
Well, they can't be the good guys anymore.
Why? Danny Glover was the good guy in Predator 2, and that movie was awesome.
Yeah, but they
There's
can't.
some shitty effects in it, but he was great.
When you're going to kill off basically the entire cast, you can only really have one or two good guys. Otherwise, you might accept the kids watching it.
Oh yeah, right.
You need the bad guys to get killed, because then the kids can root for the bad guys getting killed by the awesome Predator. Because the Predator's not really the bad guy.
The Predator sells toys.
Yeah. And it'd be best. Well, look, the old Predator movie got wrong.
Feel sorry for the Predator. Make you a friend.
Yeah. Was that they only had one Predator.
Like in Alien versus Predator. You know what? You're a pretty tough human. I'm gonna make you some weapons out of an alien's body.
There you go.
Here's your spear, and here's your alien head shield, and I'm gonna burn a little symbol on the side of your face because you're so badass. You know, us predators, we're not really that bad at guys. I mean, we just pick you guys up and farm you around for hunting, but once in a while we like you. You're one of the good ones, Noah. Here, let me give you a pistol from 1786.
Well, that's actually not a bad angle. Actually, that's not a bad angle.
No, it is. It is. It's cool. That's what makes it cool. You're badass enough to hang with the predators. But they didn't give Arnie any props. No, he just had to blow the fucker up.
Yeah.
That's how bad Arnie is. But you know, Glover got the gun. The chicken alien versus Predator got something.
She got.
Well, she got the alien
thing
shield, but I think she got a gun too, didn't she?
Now to make that
I always
movie,
fall asleep before I ever get to that point.
To make that movie, and I don't think she got a gun, but to make that movie even better, what would have been better is if they had brought her along, and then she was like mop-up crew for the rest of the humans. Like if she had ended up killing all the rest of them and going
at
on
the
the
end,
ship.
she's on top of the pyramid killing aliens and stuff like this.
Yeah, and then one of the humans comes up, "You're alive." She's like, "Fuck you!" He just cuts them off.
Or it's like the end of Doomsday, where like she shows up at the edge of a civilization and there's a bunch of alien and predators behind her, and suddenly she I don't know. They try to turn all the female characters too in those type of movies, which is really funny.
So yeah, back to Robocop.
Oh yeah, and writing. Yeah, writing. I can look at the trailer of Robocop and know that there's been about 75 producers going, okay, we're going to remake this thing. And they all start shoving their ideas into like 4 or 5 writers' heads. And they're going to go for one that's like, oh, well, let's get the guy that did Cowboys and Aliens and worked on Lost. He'll make it mysterious. And then you'll end up with another horrible piece of shit. There's no Dan O'Bannons left. There's no Dan O'Bannon, Alien. Dan O'Bannon is a really good writer, and he's actually written and dabbled in most of my classic childhood sci-fi favorite stories. And he's just good at it. And he has always been good at it. He wrote one bad movie, and that was Alien versus Predator. And then he died. But, well, not right after Alien versus Predator. Maybe not from shame. I mean, he's like, well, sorry, guys. But even the first 20 minutes of that movie, until you see the production design on the pyramid and you get into the whole exchange.
Aztec thing?
Yeah, well, it just looks corny. And the whole premise of it is kind of dorky. But up until that point, you're buying the characters, and that Dan O'Bannon, the way he unfolds everything to you works a little bit better. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know who's writing this new one. Probably Damon Lindelof. And when it breaks it all down, the Robocop has a dream. And it was all a dream. Or was it? Or was I in another universe? Or was I hanging out with aliens who don't wear pants but can travel across the solar system? What was I doing?
You don't think it's not going to be a dream. It won't be a dream.
I know, but it's to that point now.
But you can see the twist coming.
Is it a twist?
Well, they show it in the trailer, so
I'll tell you what a twist is.
What?
Johnny Depp is an American Indian. That's a twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we can't make him the Lone Ranger because he's already Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And it's Disney, so we can't make Jack Sparrow a bad guy. There's only one character left. Oh, well, we'll have him get a tan and paint his face white. Dumb as shit. And that's not even a remake. It's just a bad idea.
And it really did, the Lone Ranger really did become Johnny Depp plays an Indian the movie.
I won't go see it.
You didn't see it?
No.
Okay, well,
As a matter of fact, as it stands right now, I've so had my fill of look how big the budget is on this movie. Oh, it's going to be a crazy twist, or oh, it's a remake, and I get the same shit every single time. Like when I went to see Elysium, I was expecting, I mean, wonderful special effects, flawless one. But the story is just so two-dimensional that like, okay, did you see Elysium?
I did not see Elysium because when I watched the trailer, I was able to come up with the entire plot. And then I looked at Wikipedia, and it turns out it really was the entire plot.
Well, okay. We're in a futuristic society where they've basically created. There's a satellite,
there's a
space station that has its own atmosphere within. There is no bubble over the top. It's so big it has its own contained atmosphere.
Which, if it was that big and it was flying around the planet, there'd be earthquakes wherever it was.
I don't know, but I mean, I liked that part of it, and really, I mean, just the detail and the special effects and the way they approached District 9, they approached it here. However, everybody that lives on Earth, they're all just overpopulated and undereducated, and kind of like what it's going to be like once we get to that point. But it's always like, the corporate evil guys. The setup, basically when Matt Damon gets contaminated by radiation, find out he has X number of days to live. The way this happens is there's something jammed in the door of this machine that he works with every day as he does his blue-collar hindrances and, gets his little bit of money and has his little tattoos everywhere. But, something gets jammed in the door and then, whatever's inside the door gets blasted with radiation. And the evil boss comes over and just said, "You better get that out of there. There's something jammed behind the door." And, okay. And so he goes in there and moves, and it's like, "Oh no, I moved it, and now the door's going to close me in. I'm going to get blasted with radiation." And they show him, but it's the dumbest setup. Who the fuck would do that? No one would. I'd get a stick in there. I'd jam something in the door. I'd use common sense. And every day that he works there, the same machine, every stinking day. He knows the radiation can kill you. I wouldn't even go into the booth. And they just set up these characters like they're just mindless two-dimensional idiots. And that's what you get most of the time. You don't really know anything about, Jodie Foster's character. She's just the evil. Or is she evil, or is she just driven to evil, or does she just have to do this because she's running Elysium, but we're going to shoot the planes down with the people coming up from the planet because we can't have them up here contaminating everything on Elysium. I got to play it hard. And then when she dies, she's like, no, don't try to save me. I've done too much wrong in my life. It sucks. You don't buy these characters. You don't care about these characters. Oh, save my daughter. I can save your daughter. Can we just make the story a little bit more interesting, please? Well, I'll give up my life.
Well, the whole reason they're going up to Elysium in the first place is to get those medical pods.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't just build more medical pods and send them down to Earth?
Well, no. See, what happens is after Matt Damon, does his Joan of Arc revolution up there on Elysium, they initiate the program that sends all the helper droids and all the little ambulances down to the planet. Now they have all those little beds down there to save everybody. And this movie, Robocop.
Robocop's going to bring down the corporation.
He's going to bring down the corporation.
He's going to bring him. He's going to.
Because that's what we fight against now: is the corporations. Take that. We're going to show you. We're going to use your tool against you. Don't apologize.
So he's gonna end up killing all the boardroom meeting people.
Well, no, that would be an R-rated version. He's going to go up there and he's going to shoot the boss. And then, the guy right under the boss who's basically powerless to do it. It'll probably be Sam Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Michael Keaton, he's white. So he's the evil boss. And Sam Jackson, he's the strong-spoken boss, but actually he's on your side. I'm sorry. He looks in this. He's doing that same speech that he's done in every movie that he's ever been in where he's like he's an amazing actor. And all you have to do is just watch Django to realize just how incredible this man is as an actor. Yet he always goes back to being, even in Deep Blue Sea, for crying out loud. well, I'm going to tell you right now, blah, 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 and we're going to pick our, boots up and kick some ass, and then the shark eats him, which is actually refreshing. But he always plays this character. He literally is like the George C. Scott of sci-fi. Is he not? I mean, he's always doing these Patton-esque walks where he's telling you what's going to go down. And it's great for him. He gets a lot of money, but I really, you can use him a lot of different ways. He's a very talented actor. The ultimate question is, are you going to go see it?
I have to.
You're going to go to the theater and pay to see this.
I've brought it up in video before this.
Right.
I've brought it up on Facebook, and I'm bringing it up. I have an entire vlog dedicated to this. And
so you're going to go pay the monster to see the shit that they made for you.
I've got to.
Okay.
I've got it. I have to.
You're going to go pay $13 for a sandwich has a turd in the middle of it.
It was the same. It was the same reason I actually saw Grown Ups 2.
You paid for that? You're a bad person.
after I gave the money to Disney for after I paid to go see The Lone Ranger.
Man, I gave some money to Disney recently because they need it. And because they're telling me what to think, and I need that. Well, and Iron Man 3 was incredible.
Iron Man 3, despite being really fucking stupid.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever. Take Iron Man, mix it with Transformers with shitty writing,
and how they completely destroyed the Mandarin. But you don't see Iron Man movies to go see Iron Man and all the characters. You go see Iron Man because you want to see Robert Downey Jr. play with toys. That's why I see Iron Man. I want to see Robert Downey Jr. be funny and play with toys.
Well, the banter with him and the other characters has always been good.
Yeah.
Happy, love the character. I actually liked Iron Man 2. A lot of people hated it. But it was the thing that I liked about it wasn't an origin story. It was just the next part. And I'm okay, I can live with that. You get into Iron Man 3 and it's like the personal life of Tony Stark. And add a kid because Disney paid for it. And it's just stupid. I'm all by myself. I'm the poor Tony Stark. I ain't got no friends, no Hulks, no Avengers, because this is all personal. And I'm a fucking idiot because I told him to bring it on. And, there's a missile coming toward my house, and I got this $1 billion house and billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of technology and stuff. But none of that can detect it. No, we got to see it from a helicopter cameraman on the news. I didn't buy a lick of it, and it's a train wreck.
He's lucky the news had a live feed with no delay. Otherwise, the missile would have hit his house, and like 5 minutes later, they would have said, a missile has just hit his house, and he would have been sitting there in a burning house going, oh my god, a missile!
Quick! Let me hit my Super Transformer Iron Man wear and put it over on my girlfriend so that she'll be okay. And then, of course, that's going to make her learn how to do this. God. Jesus.
Let me not call the police or call another suit for myself.
No,
it's not like I don't have
or Thor
tons of different suits in my basement, like the big jackhammer robot that I built for.
And then, I'm sorry. So, all right, I'm just going to toss this up. Okay, let's just assume that at the end of Avengers, Thor took Loki back.
Yeah.
And they all kind of went their separate ways. But so Captain America's not like, oh shit, my friend's in trouble.
Well, Captain America's not protecting America. I mean, it's America that's in danger. The president's being kidnapped and shit.
And Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow's all through Iron Man 2, right? They're all twisted with this.
Nick Fury shows up.
There's none of that. It's just like, oh, hold on, this was a sub-story that happened before Avengers or something like that. And of course you can't do that because you link to his whole personal problem when he falls from the hole.
The wormhole thing.
I'm falling and I'm going to hit the ground and then Hulk's going to wake me up and scare me and now I'm going to have personal problems, more than I do already. It can't be drinking, no, because, normal people don't have drinking habits when they go through a lot of stress. It just has to be anxiety brought on by when children ask me questions.
See, the thing is...
But it has to be a kid, right?
He got PTSD from all that stuff that happened in New York, not being in a cave or anything. Not the...
Oh, yeah.
Not the what happened in Iron Man 2, not being... what happened? Not the whole thing with Whiplash.
No,
Not being...
Not being in a race car that gets chopped in half and you flip over upside down. Maybe you break your neck, maybe you don't.
No, it's falling from a wormhole and getting unconscious and having the Hulk yell. That's what did it. The Hulk yelled at him.
Yep.
Yeah. And how everyone thought he was dead, but no one bothered to stick their fingers
How
into
did
the
we?
thing.
I know, right? Just push a button and see what happens. Or yeah, like I love how Captain America just pulls the plate off his face. Oh, wait, just before we go, there's one thing that I really love: the Avengers poster. Right? You have all the Avengers on the poster, and it's not Iron Man's fault that he has an iron faceplate. But you can't just have Iron Man on the poster. No, you have to have it off to see Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is on all the posters until after the movie comes out, and then you'll get the Iron Man poster with just Iron Man there. And that's not enough, which I think is very, very funny. It's hilarious. Maybe make it clear. I don't know. But the poster is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. And it's everybody's vanity and all this other kind of shit. We don't need to talk about that. Edit that out. How did we get on this subject in the first place?
It's a disjointed talk.
No, it's Disney! That's what it was.
Disney.
Fucking Disney. Now, I urge you to go see every movie you can before Disney takes them all over. Because eventually Disney's owning everything. And the mouse will... There's going to be a Mickey next to the moon. You know, it's going to be like on South Park. He's just going to come flying over parades, breathing fire on us and keeping us in line. I'm just going to say this. I've had my fill of or not you, but the whole entertainment monster telling me this is going to be cool. You know, oh, you should go see that. This is going to be the bomb for the summer. And knowing before I ever even go in the theater that it's going to suck ass. And anything with Disney tacked onto it now, I'm just not going to see. Because I get the same garbage every time. And to be honest with you, like I don't even want to go spend the money anymore. Redbox is easier. I'll wait for Netflix. I don't really care. I don't. I'm not in that big a hurry to see anything, especially after going to see Elysium. Right now, the funnest thing about going to a theater is going to the Grand Lux and sitting there and having them bring you your alcohol and food while you're watching the movie.
Man, the Elysium really screwed you up.
Man, I'm sorry. I mean, you District 9 is a beautiful piece of work. I mean, and it was made independent of Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Within reason.
Yeah, I mean, they had Pete's wallet, but, you know, $20 million, and they made something that's phenomenal. I mean, the scene where they're testing his arm, and they're shocking him to make him fire it, and then they put one of the prawns over there and make him kill it. You know, and it's his face and the way they're doing the edit and stuff like that. It's gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
It's real, even though it's so unreal.
I like because they don't care. Again, they don't care. They're just strapping him in. They're like, fire, make him do this. Like, do it, shoot him.
Yeah.
They don't care that that's a person.
Well, even when he battles the evil military guy, that's one little part that sort of gets on my nerves. But you can, when he's in the suit, when he's in the the fighty suit or whatever, and he's getting beat down, and the hydraulic fluid spraying out of the leg, and then he's going to shoot that one, misled him, and he's like, no, fuck this, I'm going to catch it. And then that character suddenly turns on them and starts cussing them, and they take a very mild character, and they beat him and they beat him and they beat him until he's just like, fuck all of you, this is wrong. And there's some things in District 9 that are kind of corny, like, oh, we just finished making the fluid at this very last moment right here. I've been working on it for 20 years, and thank God today is the day. And the fact that it gets on him and turns him into a prawn isn't a really believable fluid for the story, but they still make it work, and you still buy it. And I mean, you don't even have to sit there and force it. You're just sitting there going, because it's visually amazing, it's very well put together, it's an original approach, you like the characters, you yearn for the characters, and the bad guys are scary as shit. You know, when they go into the camps and they're in there with the machetes, and
they're cutting people.
Yes, that's scary.
And they're eating the prawns, that
is frightening. That makes the movie go, ah, where Elysium has none of it.
Well, what's cool about those sequences, a lot about the sequences that are very visceral in a lot of movies, is that they're inspired by shit that actually happened. Like that shit actually, people did that to people.
People still do that to people.
People still do that to people.
Game of Thrones. Oh.
But in the movies now we can't do that. We can't show that. That will make the kids scared. Instead, we'll have this explosion that obscures him, and then he'll be on the same Darth Vader bed that Darth Vader was on, and he'll be put into a big Darth Vader suit.
Oh, wait, because it is kind of like Darth Vader. There's more Star Wars coming out. directed by J.J. Abrams.
Yay!
There's going to be so many good movies coming out, dude.
I can't wait to see what J.J. Abrams does with the lightsabers. It won't even be. It won't be a defensive. It'll be an offensive lens flare.
Right.
Shit!
No, dude, come on.
What?
No, that's what they're going to do. They're going to be like, oh, no, they're all going to wear sunglasses after, because there's no way to get around it. Or every time a gun's fired.
It'll be like this bright area, and you'll be able to see two people just like. I can't. What am I doing?
Okay, I want to do one thing. Hopefully this can be seen.
What?
I love the fact that they're going to bring back all of the original characters.
Yeah.
They're going to bring back Luke, Leia, and everybody, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're older now, right? All right. I really loved this part of this whole thing. Are you ready? All right, here we go.
Oh yeah.
All right. I love this. And all right, they're gonna try to find a way to make that guy look like Luke Skywalker again.
They'll get him into shape.
Ooh, man. Rode hard, put up wet. Where's Luke Skywalker gonna be when they find this mound of silly putty?
Come on, he's not that bad. He's not.
Dude.
What?
Now, okay, he needs to be looking like that.
They can get him there.
I don't know, man.
Tech can get him there.
Tech can get him. He needs to have that sort of Obi-Wan type look.
Yeah.
But Harrison Ford, I mean, he's still got it together.
Well, Harrison Ford's been doing a lot of stuff.
Right.
Harrison Ford's been like he's been in Orson Scott Card's new movie.
Right.
That Ender's Game. Yeah.
I mean, he's an old dude, but
yeah.
That's a caricature of him that's pretty funny. But I mean, he's still going to be able to pull off the Han Solo thing. Carrie Fisher, they're just going to look like old people or older versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill, he's
now. To be fair, Mark Hamill has been doing voice acting, and he's been doing voice.
He's great.
Yeah, but when you're in voice acting, you don't really have to like.
He looks like he's just been drinking himself. Yeah.
He's not that bad. He's just
anyway. So Robocop is basically your lead into the new Star Wars. Just so that it'll tide you over until 2015. When JJ's going to kick it off? Is 2015?
Yeah, which is good because Robocop comes out in 2014, so it'll.
Right, and it'll ease your anxiety.
Bring someone back from like the 50s or the 60s. It's like, this is the year 2013. We are in the new millennium. All the movies that came out back then, we were in space, we were doing stuff, and put them right there. It's like, what are we doing in 2013? We're bitching about how bad the movies are.
The remakes.
The remakes suck.
How can we be bitching about sci-fi movies now? How's that even possible? And this is the thing. We're at the point where technology caught up to sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
Technology caught up to Doctor Who. And they do a wonderful job with it. They never disappoint. But, technology caught up to the point where everything that you ever yearned for, and now you won't know this, but everything that I ever yearned for in the 80s, you grew to accept that special effects looked weird. And they would hit you with special effects every so often. And so you were always dying to see that moment of the space battle or the ship going through the edge of the shot or whatever. Because you knew those took a lot of time and effort. And the closer they got it to realism, the more you were wowed out. Just the way the Nostromo's moving around the planet and Alien, for that time period, you're like, my God, that looks incredible. Or and I hate to cite Alien again, but all the practical stuff they did in Aliens, it looks fantastic. It looks great. And they're mixing the practical, and then when you get to the post effects, like all that late '80s. All through the 90s when they're starting to put in the computer-generated effects, and
it looks, and it pops out.
Yeah, and it almost looks worse than the other stuff.
With the exception of Terminator 2. Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that difficult because it was supposed to be like a liquid metal thing.
Right.
But they did really well.
And also, too, that was the payoff. Like, you were dying for the next time you got to see it.
In Jurassic Park. They did well in Jurassic Park.
And you watch it from today's standards, and the blobby metal stuff is a little kooky, but it holds up for the most part.
And some of the dinosaurs look a little bit.
It holds up, though.
It holds up, yeah.
So, the technology is there. All you need is the story to ride along with it, and you're good to go. But you start making things like Transformers and Iron Man 3, where there's so many special effects flying around all over the place throughout the entire movie that it dulls your senses, and you're no longer wowed. And you go back to the original thing that you were looking for in the first place, which is a good story, which is not there because they don't concentrate on it. The cinematography is always fantastic.
Yeah.
The technology, the movement of the camera. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing half the time anymore. Hell with it, I don't care. But I mean, all of that caught up, and then we're going. I mean, up here we're going backwards. We can't find anything new. Oh, every story's already been told, bruh. I'm not buying that.
Look, even if every story's already been told, well, fuck it. It's been told 1 billion times for a reason. It's good.
Well, right.
You know?
And here's the thing. Why do you have to restart every superhero when you restart the franchise? We've already got the origin. We got it. Hello.
This is going back to Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. How many times do you have to remake the origin story? Why can't you just pick a story? I mean, in a case in point, Wolverine. The Wolverine. That particular story was an awesome miniseries that came out in the 80s, and I mean, it was cool. And it was so on the edge when you were reading it, then you're like, damn, this would make a great movie. You don't need an origin story to go with it. You can just pick it up and run. We've already told the origin story. Spider-Man, we don't need any more origin stories for the love of God. No more Superman origin. No more Batman. No one else origin.
Well,
Don't restart the Avengers, or I'm going to kill everyone.
They've got to show the origin stories because otherwise.
Right, once.
No.
Well, I got it. You're still in the Iron Man origin story. We're still in it. We're still dabbling with episode 1.
Well, we've got to have the origin stories in the movies.
Right.
Otherwise, the people who are watching them for the first time won't understand it.
Well, the Avengers thing was cool. Set up the characters, show how they got there, and then let's proceed on.
Well, Avengers was cool because they were building up to Avengers for like 40 years.
Right. I mean, it worked.
Yes, it did. Avengers was.
I don't want to say I believe the hype, but at the same time, I bought into that idea. It's a good idea. I don't want 3 episodes of the same character. I'd rather have more. Hell, they could do a Hawkeye movie. I'd go see it.
They didn't.
They didn't, but I think that would be a cool one. Black Widow, that would be an interesting origin story. I don't mind that. Haven't seen it 5 times already.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell it the way I want to. I'm Bryan Singer. I never read the comic book. I'm just smart. I'm sorry. I mean, I look at the first X-Men, and the biggest problem with those are they're not fighting like the X-Men. The X-Men play off of each other and kick a lot of ass. And they just get mopped all over the place. It's sad. But Bryan Singer's smarter than I am.
Well, he's smarter than you are because he has money.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, if you were smart, you'd have money.
Right.
But you're not smart,
No.
so you don't have money.
No. So what he's saying is right. I'm just mad.
Yeah.
I'm over here with sour grapes.
He's jealous because Bryan Singer is smarter than you,
Yeah.
and he's got money.
Yeah.
Money is smart.
Money makes smart. Or I heard if you eat the soul of the person with all the money, you get their money.
Bryan Singer.
I don't know.
Bryan Singer went around eating a bunch of.
He's eating a lot of souls. All right, how do we wrap this up? We got to find a way to transfer that,
we got a bunch of
that,
to do.
and put it all on a drive that you have to go back to a PC.
Well, that's why I got my laptop over here.
And we need to turn the air conditioning back on. And I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's getting fucking hot.
All right, so in conclusion.
In conclusion, I'm going to go see Robocop because I have to. And I'm bringing a bunch of my friends over there because they have to. And we're bringing Nasuman because he has to. And if I'm going to go into Robocop with an open mind, and if I'm wrong, if against what I feel, it actually turns out to be a really good movie, I will sit here and I will say I'm wrong. I was wrong. Robocop is good. And you should all go see it. But I have a feeling I'm going to be saying something like, called it. So, what are you going to do?
All right. I, on a fluke, went and saw Total Recall, and I enjoyed it. And I shouldn't have, because I flamed it. But in this particular circumstance, I'm not going to do it. I can't imagine that they're going to even get close to what I'm wanting to look at. I can already see the cheese factor. But I say this. If you go see it, and you like it, and you say you should really go see this, I'm going to be like, but I'm going to go do it. I'll do it, and then we might have to sit back here again and eat crow. But I honestly believe that it's going to be a red box adventure when there's nothing else to rent except for, Benjamin Franklin, Vampire Hunter,
Sharktopus.
Sharktopus, Sharknado. No,
Did you see the new one, Ghost Shark?
no,
Yeah.
and Tara Reid saves the world. If I get those options, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, very nice.
We're done.
All right, you guys, see ya.
Bye. What?